Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in Scotland. Today's project is a milk carton. It's one of my favourite types of boxes to make. They are really quite easy to do, and quite often I would make short ones or tall and wide ones, and I think this is the first time that I've made a kind of tall thin one. So I've used in colours, and I have used the Flowers for Every Season Designer Series paper, which has all of the 2020 to 2022 in colours in it, and doesn't just have flower patterns but has some other stripes and dots and things as well. So great paper pack to use. I've also used the Tasteful Touches stamp set to decorate this one, and cut out that with the Tasteful Labels dies, which is a fabulous set of dies that do coordinate very well with the stamp set, but can be used for all sorts of sentiments as well. Lovely. Those are available separately, but if you buy them as a bundle, then you save 10%, and I'm all for that. Okay, so I will let you see what's inside this. I'm not going to untie the ribbon. I just need to slide it off. And then I've got a shower gel, a mini hand cream, and a lip balm that all fit in there. So that would be a lovely little gift. So now, see, they fit in very easily. I'm not going to faff about trying to put the bow back on, but I will get back on later. I'm going to show you how to make one of these. So again, I'm sticking with the in colours because I'm using the Flowers for Every Season Designer Series paper. And this is a sheet of A4 Bumblebee card. Now, it measures 8 1/4 inches that way, and I want to cut it to 8 1/2 inches on the long side. And I can save that for another project. Put the trimmer out the way. And then I can bring in my Simply Scored. And I need to quickly put my other bits and pieces. That's the bit I want. This tool is fabulous. I'll put a link to that in my blog post as well. So with the long side, so the 8 1/2 inches along the top, I am scoring at 2, 4, 6 and 8 inches. Turn it round, again scoring at 2 inches, this time at 6 inches and at 7 1/2 inches. Now I'm going to turn it back, and I'm going to score at 3 inches, but only down to that first score line there. So the first score line goes along there, and that's as far as I'm taking that down. So I did that at 3 inches and doing the same at 7 inches there. So that's us finished with the Simply Scored tool. But I want to add in another couple of score lines on this panel and on that panel as well. So I'm taking it from the 3-inch score line that we took down to that first horizontal one, and I'm just using my ruler to score from that point to that intersection of those two score lines there. Okay, I'm not sure if you can actually see that on there or not, but that was the one that I did just down, and I've just joined up to those points there. I'll do exactly the same on this one. And that's all our score lines. As always, I'm now going to reinforce those score lines with my bone folder. Okay. Now this top score line, I'm actually going to fold back on itself because that's the bit that the ribbon goes on, so it goes in a different direction. Okay. The cutting, just straight up, and then take a little wedge out of that side tab there and do the same up in that corner. And just cut straight up all of those score lines there. Okay. Now these are the two side panels, so if you want you can just wedge those ones to help you get a neater fit. Because they're square and they're all the same size, it's not strictly necessary, but I find it just helps a little bit to wedge those two side ones like that. All right, now I have cut some pieces of the flowers for every season designer series paper already. And these measure 3 3/4 inches by 1 3/4 inches, and I've got two other pieces for the bits that are not scored, because they will be the front and the back, and they are 1 1/4 inches by 1 3/4 inches. So bear with me while I just glue those all in place. Alright, so we've now got all of our panels of designer series paper in place on the box. It's just a case of assembling the box now. And I'm going to put some glue on all of that outside tab there. First of all, bring that in and then bring that end in so that they meet up perfectly. Just give that a press. And there we are. Now, we've got our seam at the back there, and we know that this is our side, so we're folding in these two sides there. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on there just to hold them in place. Then bring forward the back and then add glue to this piece. Press that in place And we've got the seam at the back, and we've got a nice rounded part at the front, and you just 2 fingers in there, press that there, and that will automatically just go in. It will follow those crease lines that we've put in ourselves, and there we have it. Nice and easy. We don't need to do any punching because this is pretty wide, and it is significantly wider than the ribbon I'm using, so I can very easily just keep that closed with just the ribbon, and that saves you having to use a hole punch or anything like that. You do want your ribbon to be fairly tight. This is where I could always use an extra hand, but a binder clip will do the job instead. Here we have it. And as always with tying a bow, it's 10% tying, 90% faffing to get it exactly how you want it. But you don't need to sit and watch me do that. I can do that later, but you get the idea. Now, I've got a piece of Whisper White card here, and I am going to show you what I did to create the label. So the label on this one, I used Bumblebee and I used Just Jade over the top. So for this one, I'm going to use Bumblebee again, but I'll put Misty Moonlight over the top. So I'm inking up my stamp, but if I use that full strength, it's really quite dark for the other stamp to show on top. So I've stamped off on a piece of scrap, and then I've got a much lighter piece there that I can then stamp the Misty Moonlight full strength on top. And then take my Tasteful label die, and this is the one that I used. Put that where I want it and run that through my die cutting machine. But to save a little time, here's one I prepared earlier. And if you're of a similar age group to me, you'll know that was a reference to Blue Peter. They always had one they prepared earlier ready to show you. Just adding some glue onto that and centering that on the front panel. Last little touch is to add some of the in colour enamel dots, and I am going to use the Misty Moonlight ones this time, mainly because that's most of what I've got. I've got most of them. Oops. I'll go for one there. And I do tend to like to do 3, so I'll put one there as well. Okay, so we have 2 versions. I will put that bow back on there at some point. And as I say, nice and easy boxes to make, but they're really good size for all sorts of little treats. Imagine if you filled that one with chocolate, how much you could get in. Would be loads. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial today. If you have, please give me a thumbs up, and I'd love to read a comment as well. If you haven't already, then please click on the subscribe button. There will be a link to all of the dimensions and the products that I've used in my blog post, and there's a link to that blog post in the description bar below. Thank you for watching. Until the next time, take care. Bye bye.